What's going on, guys? Christian, how you doing? Mario, yep. Always enjoy a Monday when you trade, but any other career, Mondays always suck. What's up, Melanier? How's everything going? How is everyone's weekend? Okay, let's give it one more minute. Okay, let's put this in here just in case anyone comes in here. My weekend was great. I actually went down to the Jersey Shore. I'm from Long Island. I went down to the shore for the weekend with my friends. All right. Before we get started, does anyone have any questions? What's up, Chris? Any questions before we get started? What's up? Last call for questions before we start. All right, so I'm going to go over SPY, QQQ, and IWM a little bit more in depth. AMC, I'll cover that after. You look forward to these? Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that you guys find this useful. All right, so FinTwit attitude or everyone's kind of bearish going into this week. I mean, we did just see a pretty steep candle to the downside, which I don't know. Whenever I see bearish sentiment, I feel like that's just another reason just to go long, right? Um, but we are above the EMA, right? The 820, the 21 EMA. We are above that. We're still in a green trend, right? The bull trade cloud. If you don't have this indicator, it's just BT cloud. I'm pretty sure Chris made it or C Blast. It's a great indication of the trend that you're in. Um, and we've been green for a pretty long time, but take a look at the indicators. They are starting to cross to the downside. This is already moving to the downside. So if we could see some consolidation right in this area around 430, 429, and hold the EMA, that would be bullish. So I don't see any signs yet of a steeper drop. I mean, if we test this level right here on 424, 425, and we break it, right, then we have this level right here around 422. And below that, probably around 415. Um, Also, another level we need to hold is this candle right here, right? So if we do test the downside, 427.52 is definitely a level that we want to watch because that would be a nice double bottom if we do hold it, and it would be a nice area for a reversal. Um, Elliott wave terms, all right? So looking at this purple, pink, yeah, that's more purple. Wave one, wave two, wave three, four, and we just had an extended wave 5. Um, and then if we take a look at this red, yeah, that's red trend. This is the 618 from wave 1 to 3 back down to wave 4. So wave 5s generally go to the 618 or the 1. And we just hit that 618 on July 13th and 14th, and now we rejected it and pulled back down. So that's definitely a bearish indication, that we rejected the 618 pretty perfectly. So if we do see some downside, and this does play out to this 5-wave sequence, which obviously it's just we don't know, but a wave 2 pullback would give us around 397 to 386. This is just the fib retracement from wave 1 all the way to the 618. So I could draw it again, right? So from wave 1 all the way to the 618, and that's where the 618 and 786 are, right? So I'm talking about if we see a wave, this would all be a wave 1 and then a wave 2 down here. So I hope you guys see that. It's definitely possible. I mean, I just don't think it's likely. This purple 618 and 786 is just the same exact thing, just on the smaller scale. So from wave 1 to wave 5, the 618 and the 786 is 416 and 410. So these are definitely high areas of a possibility of a reversal if we do see a move to the downside. But this is the area that we need to watch out for this week. Honestly, I'd like to see some consolidation, or maybe even put a flag in the works here, right? Something like A, B, C, D, and E, right? Something like that. That would be nice. Something just like this. Even if we just consolidate for a bit, just like IWM is doing, right? But this is obviously a much bigger flag, but that wouldn't be bad if that happens. We'll see what happens, because we haven't really had a consolidation since around May, the beginning of May. We've just been in a steady uptrend. Everyone always freaks out when there's a little correction, but there's got to be two sides to the game. So that's my opinion on SPY. Any questions on that? If you do, just drop a comment. QQQ, triple Qs. I do believe we are just in a correction again. Looking at this red Elliott wave sequence, we have the wave 1, wave 2, extended wave 3, an ABC. And then if this is an ABC, one of these fib levels would be the reversal point. So a little more downside before we see some upside, right? Wave Cs are generally 1 to 1618 of wave A. So that means we would either see a reversal around 354 or 348.95, which would give us a wave 4. Which honestly, that would make sense, because you know how the market always likes to fake out before a breakout. We would fake the break to the downside. We would break these EMAs before reversing and moving back to the upside, right? So everyone would flip their position short, and then the market would pull back and go back to the upside, which totally makes sense. We see it a million times. So that's just a possibility. And then if we do reverse in this area, here are my targets above: 379, 387, or 398, right? It's just a 618 from wave 1 all the way to wave 3, and then back down to, I did it at the 618 just in case, to play it safe. So that's how I got that target. Yep, I could totally do whatever tickers you guys want after this. How's the quality on the stream? I'm trying to, I just pulled it up on YouTube and it doesn't look that good, unless it's just bugging out on my screen. Oh, it looks pretty good. I just changed the settings. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on QQQ, the triple Qs. IWM, I didn't do Elliott wave on, just because this is kind of all you really need. These two lines. I mean, if we don't hold here, I mean, it's pretty ugly, right? So this definitely does not look too good. 211.80 is the next level below. Below that, we have this white line that I drew, 208. Below that, around 204, and then probably 200. Um, so we really need to hold here, like very badly. Um, Lots of selling volume, but we'll see what happens. We really just need to hold this level here. It's major. Um, right, we have previous resistance acting as support, new support, support again, and it should hold as another support here, but it doesn't work every single time. So we totally need a bounce here and a breakthrough to the upside. We've been consolidating for months, right? Since about February. So about 5 months of consolidation. I don't think we see a break to the downside. I mean, I think small caps should be running, but we'll see what happens. I wonder if I take this trend line, where it lines up to. Okay, wow. I did not look at this beforehand, but tell me that's not the most perfect trend line touch you've seen. I mean, that looks pretty good for a big run to the upside. Wow. I'm kind of shocked that that works out so well. Take a look at the MACD, the RSI. That looks pretty damn good if you ask me. I don't think I've seen any of this on FinTwit or anyone's point this out before, but that looks freaking good if you ask me. What do you guys think about that? I mean, this is just a classic scenario of moving sideways to retouch the trend line, right? One bounce, two bounce, going to be a third bounce, and we'll see another huge run. Yeah, this is right. So last time we touched the trend line, we had let's see, a 65% run. So if I take that same thing, look at the target, 305. Oh, father had this, right? So around 305, 306. Um, yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. And there was a 67% run before that, or a 30% run, excuse me. Oh no, well, 60% down here, but now it would be a 30%. All right. Wow, I really like that a lot. I mean, this looks good. All right, glad I checked that out. Let's go into the setups that I like. So, starting off with Twilo, right? I've been pointing this out a lot recently. The setup looks very, very good. We had a huge falling wedge breakout, right? Wave one, two, three, and now wave four falling wedge. This looks very good. Let's see if I take the fib from wave two to wave three, right off the 0.5. So that makes it even stronger. We need over these EMAs. But I think if we break 376.55, which is it's literally right there, right? We close at 374.98. I think if we break that, it would be a good play for just a weekly. And the price target would obviously be the top of the wedge, right? And then if you wanted to play the 423 target, I would take 2 weeks out probably. So that's how I would play that. But really like the setup. Looks very good. Yep. Any tickers that you guys want me to check, I will totally look at after. All right. TSM, I put this on here again because it does look pretty decent. Right. We have multiple touches across the bottom. We did just have a steep sell off, right? They just had earnings and they weren't very good. But I like this bottom trend line here. So I included it on my list because, right, this is a high area of interest of a possible reversal. So totally want this on my list, and I'll see what happens here. Square. Shout out C Blast to that play last week. That was sweet. Um, Again, multiple touches across the bottom trend line. Sideways consolidation. This looks exactly like the IWM chart on the weekly, just on a smaller scale. Look at increased volume, right, on a sell-off. That's definitely bullish. If we can break over, let's see. I mean, I think I would just play at the top of the candle, right? We have a double rejection on 2 daily candles, right at 241.62. So over that, I think we test this next candle, right? We play the pivot points. So I really like Square going into this week, right? The EMAs are consolidating; they're getting tighter and tighter. And when the EMAs get tight, something happens. They price action expands. So really like Square going into this week as well, right? And I'm only talking things to the upside because that's basically what I play. If you want me to look at any short setups or bearish setups, I'm more than happy to do that. Just let me know. Roku. Roku's very similar to Twilo. Right, long falling wedge, consolidation breakout, wave 3, wave 4 pullback, falling wedge. Got to put the next one on because we did break below that. So yeah, we're sitting right above the 0.5, and wave 4s typically reverse right over the 0.5. So this is a high area of interest for a possible reversal, declining volume. If we do get a bullish week in the markets, this is going to be a great play. Wave 5 target is 514, right? 618 is always a wave 5 target. And to measure that, again, if you don't know, you go from bottom of wave 1 to wave 3 back down to wave 4. So 1, 3, 4 gives you a 618 target of 514, which is over the all-time high level. I use the 8 and 21 EMAs. Yeah, Chris is amazing with Square. Or he's just amazing in general, but Square is his baby. Yep, no worries. No worries. Right here. I just have the SMAs turned off. I just used the 821 EMAs. I know Chris uses maybe the 20 and the 50 or something like that. 21 and the 50. Whatever works. Everyone has a different trading method. Everyone sees different things. Um, there's no one way to trade, which is the beauty of it. I almost just knocked over my microphone. Yeah, so really like the setup a lot. Next, HD. We had a 75% winner on this last week, but we pulled back. All right, so taking a look at the daily, we broke out of this flag. So he uses 14 to 50. Got it. We broke out of this flag, and now we're doing a little retest action. If we go in closer on the 1 hour, right, we are breaking through, but you could put the line here. I think we might reverse. So I'm going to be definitely watching this breakthrough 324.42, which is that previous high, right? I think we'll test the 326.28 level and potentially go higher. Yeah, really like this. We'll see what happens. Walmart. Oh, speak of the devil. You just asked for Walmart. Here it is. Right, huge inverse head and shoulders, left head, right. This pink trend line, right, multiple touches across the board. We did just break out last week, and we do have a tiny retest. So EMAs and the bull trades cloud trend is green, and the EMAs are upwards. We do have an 821 EMA crossover right here. That's a bullish indication. We need back over this level of 142.58. We rejected that perfectly last week. So if we can get over 142.58, my next price target is this yellow line right here, 144.58, and then over that, we have some big upside above. So definitely like this. But if we do zoom in, right, we do have this bottom trend line with multiple touches across the board. So I totally could see a retest, right? Some more consolidation and a retest of this white trend line before moving back to the upside. All right. Goldman Sachs, right, played this last week for a loss. I thought we were going to break out above, but we didn't. It looks like we're going for a retest of this bottom trend line, right? A, B, C, D, E. Correction. Wave E's generally reverse right around the 618. And that's where we're sitting at right now. So I like this area as a reversal if we don't pull back to this trend line, which would be the 786. So this is an area of confluence. This is a highly likely area of a reversal right around 361, 360, probably 360, right? Nice round number, psychological number to reverse at. But I am watching this week if we do reverse here for a breakout and a retest of all-time high, 393.26. They just had earnings, right? And they did very well. So really like this setup as well. But be aware this totally can break out to the downside, right? Right, so below 355.59. Next target would be that pivot point, 348.13, and so on. Etsy, added this to the list because it does look like it wants up. We just had that parabolic move. Now we're seeing, it looks like an ABC correction right to the 0.5, right? This is just measured from the low to the high. 0.5 high area of confluence to reverse. EMAs are getting tighter. So I do think this does see some upside. Right, take a look at the RSI. It's a bullish indication. So let's, I think I'll play it over this candle, or you can even do over this 191 line, which is going to be a heavy resistance above that we need to break through. Tesla, always going to be on the watch list. It's getting real tight here, right? We were in an A, B, C, D, E correction, it looks like, right? A, B, C, D, E. We just had a wave one that rejected right where, we expected. And now we're in a wave two, right to the 618786 fib retracement levels. So again, high area of confluence. We are also approaching this previous resistance point. So, I mean, it just makes sense for it to reverse right around the 634 level, which lines up perfectly with the 786. So if we can find some support here and move back to the upside, I'll be so bullish on this, and I'll probably buy calls out for August, honestly. August, like 750 calls. I'd be so bullish. I think we would test 780 even higher if we can break to the upside out of this. If we break 700, oh man, 780 is coming very quickly. Right? Take a look at the volume profile on the right-hand side. It's going to be tough to get over this region right here, like the 670 to 680, 690 level. It's going to be tough. Might be pretty choppy, but if we can break that, 780s next. Next, this chart kind of looks good, so I threw it on here. Right, multiple rejections across the board. This week we just rejected there again, and it looks like we're going to test this trend line on the bottom. Definitely keeping this on my eye this week. If I draw this level right here, right? Previous resistance, excuse me, previous resistance turning into new support. Here's a level of confluence, right? One trend line, two trend line. Highly likely that we're going to reverse right here, move back to the upside, and potentially break out. I know there was some decent option flow on this in the prior weeks, so this is why I have my eye on it. Disney looks kind of decent. We did just have that big pullback, but it just looks like a classic retest, right? We have this white trend line, multiple touches, right? So old support always acts as a new, or old resistance, excuse me, old resistance acts as new support. And then we have this yellow trend line across the board, right? Old resistance became a new support, and it's going to act as a new support again, potentially. So definitely keep your eye on Disney for a test back up to 185. Snow also threw this on here. Right? Looks like we're going to bounce right off this bottom trend line. If not, we'll obviously break down. And the target would be like 223. But if we could bounce here, I think we'll retest this most recent high of like 275. So definitely watching this as well. All right, let's go over some chart requests. I know AAL was one that you wanted to see. I don't know what's going on with airlines, but they're getting killed. They are getting murdered. All right, we're in an overall downtrend here, so best to stay away. But take a look at this bottom trend line, right? This is where we reversed last time, right around 1964. We reversed here again, and now we're testing it again. So this is going to be a third time that we're testing this as a support level. So if it doesn't hold here, it's definitely very ugly. If it does hold and we get a reversal, I would wait for 821 EMA cross to enter, right? So like here we had the 821 EMA cross, and it signified, right, if you entered right here somewhere within this candle, it ended up going way higher. Right, another 821 EMA cross went way higher. So that's what I would wait for here to go long. Just my opinion. An earnings run up. I mean, they do have earnings in a couple of days, so the run up it would have happened already. I mean, planes have been pretty packed. I've traveled a little bit in the last few months, and airports have been packed, but that doesn't really mean anything. AAL. What was the other one that you wanted to see? Let me go back to the beginning. AAL XLV. No problem, man. XLV. So this is just a fund. I mean, the first thing that comes to my eye is just this bottom trend line. Right? Multiple touches. So highly likely that we're going to consolidate a bit until we test this area right here. Right? A point it needs to hold is that level right there. And of course, if it breaks above, right, the high, it's definitely a bullish indication. I'm not really going to go too in depth on this fund. Wish. I know this is extremely popular now. People are trying to squeeze this. I just really never like these names. I mean, take a look at the overall chart. It's just, this is brutal. Right? Wait for 821 EMA bull cross, right? We just had it to the downside. That's obviously a bearish indication. So totally wouldn't even touch this until you break like this previous level of 1171. Let's see what else. What else? Yeah, McDonald's was a good play last week. That was a great quick move to the upside. Um, Airbnb. Let's redo the chart. So first thing that comes to my eye, right? Something like that. Another support that we're getting close to is this previous reversal area. Um, so just a lesson here, right? So we had this move to the downside. After a big move happens, consolidation is a must. So we found a bottom. We moved sideways for a bit before moving in a different direction, right? So we can expect the same thing right here. So if we could see some consolidation right here, and then move back up to the upside and then break this white trend line, that would be totally bullish and maybe give us a pre-earnings run up in September 1st. So there is still a little over a month left before earnings, but that's when earnings run up happens, but like a couple weeks beforehand. So that would make sense. Definitely like that. Airbnb, I'm totally bullish long term. Airbnbs have been absolutely packed, but who knows if they're how profitable they are and such. Neo. This is just a name that I don't even look at anymore. Um, just delete everything. So, right, first thing I look for is just major points. Right, this old resistance, which previously was a support. We're at this level right now. It looks like we're a little below it, right? So the yellow line's 43.13, and we're currently sitting at 42.8. We did reject right here, and we bounced off, but now we're testing it again. It looks like we might move back to the downside. Needs to hold this level, right? We did just have an 821 EMA bear cross to the downside, so it's not very. That's not a good sign whatsoever. Let's check the fib levels. Right, we're also sitting at the 0.5. So if we're going to reverse, this is where it needs to be. It does kind of look like a falling wedge. It's too steep for my liking to be a falling wedge. Right, something like that. So we would totally need a breakout to the upside and get over this 382. Next level below, if you just wanted to play the fibs, which is a great strategy, which right around 40. That would be the next support below. For Neo, I just stay away from this. It's long term. I think it's very good, but to play options, I mean, it is nice because there is a ton of liquidity. But I don't know. I stay away from this, like PLTR, Fubo, just a bunch of those names that are popular. Starbucks. Speaking of Starbucks, I had a caramel frappuccino the other day for the first time, and it was amazing. It was so good. All right, let's see. So we're sitting at this high right here, right? We rejected at this 118.98 level back on April 19th. Um, we just need to hold this level here. Um, if we could consolidate, honestly, consolidate a little bit, let the EMAs catch up. You see how far apart they are. So when a move happens like that, right, it's just due for some consolidation, just like this area right here. Even if we can make a falling wedge here, that would be very nice. Um, it's kind of like a big cup and handle, right? I'll draw it out just so you can see what I'm seeing here. All right, there's the cup and the handle. It would need to stay above the 0.5 for it to be a cup and handle. So this level right here needs to stay over the 0.5. It would be nice, right? Like a falling wedge right to the 0.5, right? And if we see like a move down, right, A, B, C, D, E correction before breaking out, retest, moving higher, right? Something like that. I'm going to leave this here because if this plays out like that, you all heard it here first. It's pretty likely, honestly, if something like this happens. I wouldn't doubt it. So there's Starbucks. What else do you guys want to see? Nike, sorry, crypto. I totally skipped over that. Yeah, this is pretty overextended if I'd say so myself. Um, right, so this is the previous high. We do have a gap to fill, right at 150.48. Um, hmm. I mean, this is hard to judge, obviously, but let's go into the smaller time frame. Right, so if we took the fibs, if we take the fibs from the low to the high, we are sitting right at the 236. So if this holds here, I'd be bullish on the week. If it doesn't, my next target would be the 382, which makes sense, right? Because we have multiple areas of confluence, right? Support, support, support. This is a triple bottom here, as well as a 382 fib level. So this is the next major level below 158.05 if you wanted to play puts. All right. Visa. Wow, so this actually broke out to the upside on this large rising wedge. Right, this is a pre-earnings run, right? We have earnings on July 27th, and we're running about 2 weeks prior. Right, so if I was to put on the 1618 fib level here, let's see where it would be. So look at that. We're right at the 1618 right now. Um, Over that would be the 2, right? So that would be the next level above. So it makes sense that we're sitting right at the 1618. Needs to hold here. We're literally right on it, right? 248.20, 248.12. Um, if it holds here, my next target would be 254, right? The next fib level above. And all I did is just take a reverse fib level of this drop here. AMD. I haven't looked at this in a long time, and take a look at this. Right, previous resistance we broke through, and now it wants a retest. Um, and guarantee it's going to sit right at the 0.5. So, I mean, highly likely area of reversal is this region right here around 84. Right, it's the 0.5 from the low to the high. But be aware, this is a head and shoulders. Right, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So that's a bearish pattern. Totally can go back to the downside. The neckline is right here at 73. So a move down to 73 is totally possible. We do have earnings coming up on July 27th. But if we hold this 84 region, right, we have multiple areas of confluence. Totally possible to retest this level up here, around 94. NVIDIA. Steep sell-off. Earnings coming up again, or it is earnings season. Oh yeah, they do have a split on the 20th. Is that tomorrow? What's today? Oh no, Tuesday. So split is coming up, and we just sold off pretty big time. So I kind of want to see what happens here this week. I mean, 821 EMA, they're about to cross to the downside, making this a bearish cross. So that's not a good sign. But I'm just gonna wait this one out. We know the split's coming, right? People are probably selling the news, right? You buy the rumor, sell the news. Um, so based off that, it's probably going to be pretty bearish. but we'll see what happens. So it's a 4-1 split, so it's gonna be right around 125 bucks, I think. Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below. Went over a bunch of charts. We did wish already. If you just want to go back a little bit. Um, any questions regarding trading? I'd much rather answer those questions so you guys can take something with you for the future, right? Teach a man how to fish instead of giving him a fish, right? That quote, I love that quote. You can use it in so many different scenarios. Amazon. So taking a look at like the weekly or the 5 day, same thing. Um, all-time high retest, right? 35.54. We're at 35.73. So we broke out. We had a massive run, and now we're doing a retest. So this needs to hold 35.54 for a bounce. That would be very, very bullish. So that's the only target or the number that you need to look at this week. If it holds 35.54, bullish. If not, right, bearish. All right. No problem. If you want me to go over it again, there's no problem. But wish 1171, it personally is the level that I wouldn't touch it until. All right, 821 EMA bear cross. Level of support is going to turn it into a resistance. Take a look at the volume profile. Right, it's going to be a tough level to get back over. Yeah, I don't really like these names. AMC, yeah, I'll go over it. Pretty bearish, if you ask me. Right, we had asymmetrical triangle. We broke to the downside. 821 EMA cross. They did just have a nice volume candle here on the 15th. Earnings is coming up. I don't know how good AMC could do. I mean, the theaters are open again, but before it consolidates, but it's higher. You think it has a gap to fill? I mean, not really. If we go into the weekly, yeah, there's no gap. No gap here. Um, let's take the fibs, right? So from the bottom to the top, we just broke the 0.5, so that's another bearish indication. We are at the 618. So if the 618 can hold, I'd enter over the 0.5. That would be an entry point. But yeah, these are hard to play. If you don't even play these names, like obviously you guys could do what you want, but it's just these little meme stocks have a mind of their own, right? Just like penny stocks, right? Meme stocks are kind of like penny stocks. They do what they want. That's why most people don't touch penny stocks, or you can't play options on penny stocks. Apple. Apple, again, just like Amazon, right? Close to a retest of all-time high, 144.89, which was the previous high. Needs to hold that level to go higher. Next target above is the 1272, which is 152.95. So if we can hold this level and then break through that 150, wow, we touched 150 perfectly. So if we can hold this 144 level and break through 150, my next target's 152.95. Earnings, again, we are in earnings season, so anything can happen. So just be prepared for that. Earnings is the 27th, so it's next week. But yeah, went over a bunch of tickers. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to watch or feel free to DM me or ask in the chat. Whatever works. I'm always open. I'm always available. All right. Any questions just regarding trading, not chart requests? Before we head out of here. No problem, Christian. I appreciate you always coming by. When you put in the time, it will totally be worth it. Put in the time and learn. Try and learn something new every day, every other day, once a week, whatever it is. It's so worth it. There's unlimited earning potential, but don't have that mindset. Go for just small percentage gains. Don't worry about the dollar value. Um, we did UAL already, so if you want to just go back, take a look at that. As a new trader, my biggest issue, this is so easy. One, emotions. Um, I would oversize my positions every single time because all I would care about is how much I could earn. Right? It's so cool that you can, if you have $1,000 account and you put $1,000 in, you could double that money so easily. Like that, it's so hard to get around that and not want to do that. But that was my biggest issue. One, emotion, and two, selling my positions or playing based off my profit and loss. Right? So if I have a $10,000 account and I oversized and I saw a red in my account and I was down big, I would just sell my position because I couldn't deal with it anymore. Right? So it kind of falls into emotions. Um, you got to play the chart. The chart is the most important, right? You enter a position because you like the setup on the chart. Why would you not exit the position when you don't like the setup on the chart, right? So just always play the chart, size smaller than you think, and remove emotions. Love questions like that, DeMarcus. So if you have any other questions like that, please ask me. Those are the most beneficial questions you guys can ask. What time frames do I use? All of them. No specific time frame. Whatever works for your trading style. If you play weeklies, take a look at the daily, take a look at the 1 hour, 4 hour, 15 minute. Take a look at it all. Yeah, like if one of us goes big on a play, that doesn't mean you should go big also, right? None of us are perfect. I mean, I had like 10 or 15 losing plays in a row, and I think I only lost about like 8 or 9% of my account. Like it is what it is. That's what happens. Um, yeah, but I always say you got to be a risk first trader. Everyone is always profit first. You could see the earning potential. You can earn an unlimited amount of money. Like it sounds so amazing. It's like there's a dollar hanging in front of your face and you're trying to grab it and you can't grab it. That's like what trading is. You need to be patient and you need to work towards just consistency. Yeah, as long as you guys can just learn something new. I when I first started, I like had a notepad in front of me, and I would just put post-it notes on my screen, like size small, take profits, scale in and out. Um, and even if you see a setup that's like the most perfect setup ever, it doesn't mean it's gonna work out, right? Like there's external factors to this, right? Not everything is gonna work out. So that's why you always just need to size smaller than you think. Yeah, and the worst part for a beginning trader is like that one play that goes 500% and you don't size big enough, or you could have sized bigger and you didn't because you were scared. And then the next play you go into loses and then you blow up your account. It happens a million times. That happened to me so many times in the beginning. Um, no, I don't have it like a consistent like 25% stop loss and I cut it. I literally just play off the chart. If my option goes down 90% and it invalidates there, I'll cut it. If it goes down 10% and it invalidates the chart, I'll cut it. Also, never let a green play go red, right? So if you have a play that's like up 10% and it goes down to break even, just cut it, right? It's not worth the loss. Um, yep. Don't swing anything. Well, it depends what your trading style is. Um, don't swing anything unless they're not runners, right? So if I'm up on a position going into close, most likely I'll cut my position in half or something, right? So let's say I have 10 contracts or something, I'm up 25%. I'll just cut five, take that easy profit because I have no idea what can happen overnight, and swing the last five. Um, yeah, you size small and you become more consistent. So it's great. Um, yeah, like C Blast was saying, he waited 6 or 7 days or something like that for that square play, and it worked. Right? You don't need wins every single day. If you have two winning trades per week, you're gonna come out on top. All right, that was a good couple questions you guys asked. All right, we will. Would that square win also help you through? What do you mean? I mean it could. I don't know. Do you like playing bounces when the day trading or mostly breakouts? Um, I typically play breakouts. It really depends on what kind of trading I'm doing. Like during quarantine, I was doing more scalping because that was working. But now I'm just going back to my original strategy, which is what I was been doing the past 5 to 7 years is swing trading. Um, so I'll play like a wave two reversal right off the point 0.5 or the 618, um, and just breakouts. Yeah, I used to play reversals the most, but I've really gotten away from that kind of. Everyone has a different strategy. There's so many different ways to trade. It's amazing. All right. All right, guys. On that note, I'm going to head out here. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, um, and get your trading list ready for tomorrow. That way, when the day starts, you don't have to figure out what to look for. You already know what to look for. Set your alerts, right? Alerts are major. That's the only way I catch all the moves. I have alerts on everything.